Every morning, I wake up without pain, without pills, and with a peaceful heart. I'm 94 years old, and I still live alone. I cook my own meals, sweep my front porch, and even tend to my little garden out back. People often ask me, "What's your secret?" They're surprised when I tell them there's no secret, no miracle. Just 5 simple morning habits I've followed for years, decades, really. And they've made all the difference. Now, I know many of you watching might be dealing with stiffness in the morning. Maybe you feel tired before your day even begins. Or you wake up with a foggy mind that doesn't lift until late morning. Perhaps your doctors told you it's just aging, and you've started to believe it. But let me tell you something from one older woman to another. They are wrong. Aging doesn't mean decline. You do not have to feel weak, tired, or confused every morning. The truth is, how you begin your day, those first 30 to 60 minutes, sets the tone for everything else. Not just your energy levels, but your mood, your digestion, your memory, your balance, even your immune system. And that's why I'm here today. I'm going to share the exact 5 morning habits I do every day. These aren't fads. They're not based on supplements or routines that require fancy equipment. These are grounded in science, and they have kept me not just alive, but thriving, clear-headed, mobile, and joyful, well into my 90s. One of these habits helped my friend regain her balance and stop needing a walker. Another changed how I sleep after struggling with restless nights in my 70s. And one completely shifted my mental clarity. At 94, I feel sharper and more alert than I did at 60. So if you'll give me just a few minutes of your time, I promise to give you something more valuable in return: hope, strength, and a simple plan you can follow starting tomorrow morning. Let's begin with the very first thing I do the moment I open my eyes. One glass of water that changed everything. Let me ask you this. What's the first thing you put in your body when you wake up? If you're like many women I know, it's probably coffee. And that's exactly how I used to start my day too. For years, I'd wake up stiff and groggy, shuffle into the kitchen, pour a steaming cup of coffee, and sit quietly hoping the fog in my brain would lift by mid-morning. But here's what I didn't realize. That fog, that heaviness, that joint stiffness, it wasn't just getting older. It was dehydration. I learned this the hard way in my mid-70s. That year, I began having dizzy spells almost daily. My fingers felt swollen in the morning. My knees hurt before I even got out of bed. I assumed it was just age catching up. My doctor told me it was normal. But something inside me said, no, this isn't normal. So I started reading. I asked questions. And what I discovered changed my mornings forever. Did you know that we lose nearly a full liter of water about 4 cups every single night? Just through breathing and natural evaporation through the skin. And yet, what do we do the moment we wake up? We pour coffee, which actually dehydrates us further. I found a study from Johns Hopkins that said even mild dehydration in older adults can reduce brain performance by over 25%. That means slower memory, more confusion, difficulty focusing. And it doesn't stop there. Dehydration also increases inflammation in the body, which worsens joint pain and can even accelerate cognitive decline. That was enough for me. I decided to change. I started a new ritual, and I've done it every single morning since I was 75. Every night before bed, I pour a glass of room temperature water, 16 ounces. Then I add just a pinch of high-quality sea salt, not table salt, not processed flavored salts, just a pinch of natural, mineral-rich salt. When I wake up in the morning, before I touch my coffee, before breakfast, before I even speak, I drink the entire glass. And let me tell you, that one change transformed my entire day. Within a week, I noticed my joints felt smoother, my fingers didn't swell. My knees no longer ached before I stood up. And my mind felt clear before 8 a.m. for the first time in decades. Why the salt, you ask? Because your body can't absorb water into your cells without electrolytes. And sea salt contains natural electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, calcium, that help the water move into your cells and do its job. The process is called osmotic absorption, and it's especially critical after 8 hours of sleep with no food or fluids. Sometimes, if I want a little flavor, I'll squeeze in a bit of lemon, but no sugar, no juice, no sweeteners. Anything sweet even. Natural sugars can spike insulin and prevent your body from doing what it needs to do first thing in the morning. Reset. Let me tell you about Mary Lou, my neighbor. She's 82 and had been dealing with daily headaches and spells of lightheadedness. Her doctor tried her on blood pressure meds, but nothing helped. I shared this water habit with her one afternoon. She laughed and said, "That's too simple to work," but she tried it anyway. And within 3 days, her headaches were gone. A week later, she told me, "I stood up from bed this morning without grabbing the nightstand." It's not magic, it's just biology. Your body is dehydrated in the morning, and if you don't give it what it needs, it will let you know with pain, fatigue, and brain fog. So tonight, before you go to bed, fill a glass with water. Set it on your nightstand. Add a pinch of salt. And tomorrow morning, before coffee, before breakfast, drink it all. It takes less than a minute, but I promise you, it will love your body right back. Now, let's talk about the second habit that changed. My mornings. 2. Let the light in. How morning sunlight restores balance and joy. Do you remember when mornings used to feel fresh? When the sunlight came through your curtains and you felt excited to start the day? I remember that feeling vividly. And I also remember when it started to fade. In my 70s. I was still sleeping well 8 hours a night, but I'd wake up tired. My mood felt low. I'd sit at the kitchen table with my coffee and feel like the day was happening around me, not with me. Then one morning, my granddaughter asked me, "Grandma, why don't you sit on the porch in the morning anymore?" That question hit me. I used to love that quiet morning porch time, the sunlight, the chirping birds, the fresh breeze. But somewhere along the way, I had stopped. I had become too busy, too tired, too distracted. And I didn't realize what I was missing. What I've since learned is that our bodies run on a powerful internal clock called the circadian rhythm. This rhythm controls your sleep, your hormone production, your digestion, your mood, even your body's ability to repair itself at night. But that clock needs to be reset every single day. And the switch that resets it? It's not caffeine. It's sunlight. Real natural morning sunlight. Studies from Stanford and the University of Colorado show that just 10 to 15 minutes of natural morning light boosts serotonin, the brain's feel-good chemical, by up to 40%. It also helps suppress melatonin production, which tells your body it's time to wake up. This same cycle prepares you to sleep better at night, too. But here's the catch. It must be outdoor light. Not a lamp, not the light through your kitchen window, not even a full-spectrum bulb. You need to be outside. The light has to hit your eyes because it's the special receptors in your retina that signal your brain to reset your clock. Without that signal, your body stays stuck in sleep mode all day long. Even on cloudy days, the light outside is 10 times stronger than indoor light. And in just a few minutes, it can change everything. So here's what I do. Within 30 minutes of waking, I step outside. Sometimes I bring my tea. Sometimes I just sit quietly. I don't wear sunglasses. I try not to wear glasses at all. I sit for 10 to 15 minutes and just let the light in. I breathe. I listen. and every part of me feels like it's waking up. I shared this habit with my friend Dolores. She's 81 and had been struggling with insomnia for years. She'd tried melatonin, teas, even prescription sleep aids. Nothing truly worked. After church one Sunday, I told her about my sunlight ritual. She said, "Sitting on the porch isn't going to fix my sleep," but she agreed to try it for 1 week. That Friday, she called me. I fell asleep last night at 9:30 and didn't wake up until 6. I haven't done that in years. Since then, she takes her coffee outside each morning, and she says it's now her favorite part of the day. The truth is, we were raised to stay busy, stay inside, stay productive. But our bodies were made for light, for nature. And we're never too old to reconnect with that dot. So tomorrow, open the door. Step outside, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Let the sunlight hit your face. Let your eyes take in the morning. It's not just light, it's life. And your body will say, "Thank you," in ways you didn't expect. Now, I want to ask you something from the heart. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you were there? Or stood in your kitchen staring at the fridge, wondering what you were about to do? I have, and I'll be honest, it scared me. Because as older women, we carry so much in our minds. We remember birthdays, old recipes, loved ones' medications, appointments, grandchildren's stories. And when our mind starts slipping, even just a little, it feels like something sacred is drifting away. But here's the truth. I discovered in my late 70s, your brain is not broken. It's just underused in the wrong way at the wrong time. And the morning, my friends, is the most powerful window of opportunity to sharpen your mind, boost your clarity, and even protect against long-term memory loss. Right after you wake up, your brain enters a very special state. Scientists call it plasticity, which means it's more capable of forming new connections. At this time, your brain produces higher levels of something called BDNF brain, derived neurotrophic factor, which acts like fertilizer for your neurons. It helps your brain cells grow stronger, repair themselves, and communicate better. This window of brain plasticity doesn't last all day. It's open for only a short time in the morning. So if you waste that golden window scrolling your phone, watching the news, or sitting in silence with anxious thoughts, you miss the opportunity. But if you use it just for 4 minutes, you can see remarkable improvements in focus, mood, and memory. I call it my morning mind tune-up. It only takes 4 minutes, and it changed everything for me. Minute 1. I solve a simple math problem. Nothing fancy. Maybe it's 18 plus 23, or 7 times 6. I don't use a calculator. I do it in my head. This activates your logical brain. Minute 2. I recall a vivid memory. I close my eyes and think about a moment that made me feel joy. My wedding day, my daughter's graduation, the scent of fresh bread in my mother's kitchen. I try to remember every detail, the colors, the sounds, the emotion. This lights up your memory center. Minute 3. I learn 4 new words. I keep a list from books, the dictionary, or inspirational quotes. I say them aloud. I use one in a sentence. This strengthens your language center and boosts cognitive flexibility. Minute 4. I visualize my day. I picture myself moving through my morning strong and joyful. I imagine myself walking steadily, laughing with someone, getting my chores done with ease. This boosts your emotional resilience and focus. That's it. 4 simple minutes. No apps, no brain games, no subscriptions. Just your beautiful mind and a little bit of love and attention. When I started this in my late 70s, I was forgetting names at church. Now, I remember people I met years ago. I used to fumble with words. Now, I speak clearly and with confidence. I used to worry about the day ahead. Now, I face it with intention and calm. Let me tell you about Carolyn, my friend who's 88. She was recovering from hip surgery and couldn't do much physically, but she kept up this 4-minute brain ritual. Her doctor told her that her mental recovery was far stronger than most women her age. And she told me, "I don't feel like I'm losing my memory. I feel like I'm finding it again." I keep a small notebook by my breakfast chair. I call it my morning grain garden. Each day I plant something new. A word, a number, a memory, a vision. And over time, it has bloomed into clarity, confidence, and joy. So tomorrow morning, before the chores, before the noise, before the world asks for anything from you, give 4 minutes to your mind. You're not losing your sharpness. You're reclaiming it one gentle minute at a time. Point 4. Move with grace. The 7-minute routine that keeps me independent now. Let's talk about movement. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. It's not youth that keeps you independent. It's mobility. Your ability to get out of a chair without pain. To bend down and tie your shoes without fear. To walk from your front door to your mailbox without worrying about falling. And I'll tell you this, not everyone in their 90s can do that, but I can. And it's not because I've been lucky. It's because I move every morning with intention and love. I used to think stretching was the key to waking up the body. I had an old VHS yoga tape from the 90s. I'd twist, bend, and roll my neck around, and honestly, I often felt worse afterward. By the time I was 86, I started having back pain getting out of a chair. One morning, I nearly lost my balance, trying to put on socks, and that terrified me. So I went to a physical therapist who specializes in older women. And what she told me changed everything. She said, "The stretches you did in your 40s aren't helping you anymore. In fact, they might be hurting you. As we age, our joints lose moisture. Our ligaments become less flexible. Our spine becomes more vulnerable to twisting and pressure. So what worked years ago can now cause small tears, inflammation, and even instability. But movement is still essential. We just have to move smarter." So I developed a new ritual I call the inside-out mobility sequence. It's gentle, it respects my aging body, and it only takes 7 minutes. And it's the reason I can still garden, carry laundry, kneel, to pray, and yes, even dance. Here's what I do every morning. Step 1. Shoulder circles. 30 seconds. Sit tall in a sturdy chair. Let your arms rest at your sides. Slowly make small forward circles with your shoulders for 15 seconds. Then backward for 15. This warms up your upper joints and gets blood flowing. Step 2. Seated marching to 1 minute. Stay seated. Gently lift one knee, then the other, like a slow march. This engages your core, strengthens your hips, and wakes up your legs. Step 3. Doorway chest stretch. 30 seconds. Stand in a doorway. Place your hands on either side at shoulder height and gently lean forward until you feel a stretch across your chest. This opens your posture and undoes years of slouching. Step 4. Supported squats to 1 minute. Stand near your kitchen counter. Hold on lightly. Bend your knees just a few inches, then stand tall again. Repeat slowly. This strengthens your thighs and glutes, your biggest, most powerful muscles. Step 5. Seated ankle circles to 2 minutes total. Sit again. Lift one foot and slowly circle the ankle clockwise for 30 seconds, then counterclockwise. Repeat with the other foot. These tiny circles improve balance, circulation, and coordination. That's it. 7 minutes. No floor, no mats, no pain. And the result? My joints no longer creak in the morning. I can reach for things. I can carry my groceries. I feel grounded in my own body. And here's something beautiful. My friend Nancy, she's 87 and had been using a walker around the house, started doing this mobility sequence. Within just 2 weeks, she called me and said, "I feel like my body finally woke up. I'm walking without my walker indoors." You don't need youth to be mobile. You need movement. You don't need exercise videos. You need consistency. So tomorrow, give your body these 7 sacred minutes. Movement is not about vanity. It's about dignity. 5. Feed your strength. The breakfast that keeps me standing tall. Let's talk about food. And I want to begin with a very important question. What did you eat for breakfast this morning? A piece of toast? A banana? Coffee? Maybe a muffin? Now think about how you felt an hour or 2 later. Did you feel energized? Or did you crash? Did your body feel strong? Or did you start needing another cup of coffee by 10 a.m.? For years, I ate a very light breakfast. I thought it was the healthy thing to do. I believed that as I got older, I needed to eat less in the morning. But that habit left me feeling weak, shaky, and tired, especially by midday. What I didn't know is something every woman over 60 should hear loud and clear. As we age, our muscles become resistant to growth. This is called anabolic resistance. It means our bodies no longer respond to protein the way they used to. We need more of it. And we need it at the right time first thing in the morning. A study from Tufts University found that older adults who consumed 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within an hour of waking had better strength, balance, and slower muscle loss. No matter what they ate the rest of the day. So I changed everything. Now my breakfast almost always includes protein. Some mornings I have 2 scrambled eggs, half a cup of cottage cheese, and a small cup of green tea. Other days I enjoy a smoothie with whey protein, almond milk, frozen banana, and a spoonful of collagen powder. Sometimes I have Greek yogurt with protein powder mixed in and a few walnuts on top. The key is to get at least 25 grams of protein in that first meal, not spread out through the day. That concentrated dose wakes up your muscles, supports bone strength, and improves energy. Let me tell you about Viola. She's 91 and one of the most graceful women I know. A few years ago, she struggled to lift her grocery bags. Her doctor told her to stay active, but her real issue was protein. She was eating fruit and toast in the morning, no fuel for her muscles. We made one change. She added 2 eggs and a side of yogurt to her breakfast. Within a month, she said, "I feel strong again. I feel like myself." And here's one last tip: move before you eat. Doing your 7-minute mobility routine first gets blood flowing to your muscles, which helps them absorb that protein more effectively. Avoid sweet cereals, juices, pastries. They spike your blood sugar and crash your energy. Your body doesn't need sugar in the morning. It needs strength. And strength comes from real food, real protein, and timing it right. So tomorrow, when you make breakfast, ask yourself, am I feeding my strength or just feeding my habit? Because your muscles are still listening. And when you give them what they need, they'll reward you with energy, independence, and grace. Final thought. So there you have it. 5 simple morning habits, no prescriptions, no gimmicks, no expensive supplements. Just a glass of water, a few minutes in the sun, a brain tune-up, gentle movement, and a breakfast that feeds your strength. I am 94 years old today. I still laugh out loud with my great-grandchildren. I still write in my journal. I still feel alive and clear. And I believe with all my heart that you can feel that way too. You don't need to change everything. Just change your mornings. Your body is still capable. Your mind is still blooming. And your life is still so very worth living with energy, with clarity, and with joy. If this message touched your heart, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. Tell me which habit you'll try tomorrow morning. And if you know a friend, a sister, or a neighbor who needs this, send it to her. We are never too old to grow, never too late to feel better. And next week, I'll be sharing my evening routine, the simple habits that help me fall asleep without a single pill. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Until then, may your mornings be gentle, your steps be steady, and your heart be light.